Yeah, that's a good definition. So I guess people can encounter them mostly from two situations. One is from relationships, and the other one is from work, right? How do they manifest differently in these two different circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they can, it can be your neighbor, it can be your family, it can be your boss, it can be your coworker, it can be, you can find them anywhere. I was actually just talking to somebody recently, and it was like their tenant or their somebody in their apartment complex or whatever. I mean, you literally can find them anywhere. Right. And, wherever you find them, they're going to be making your life completely and utterly miserable because they're trying to suck that feeling of supply from you. They literally get off on that feeling of making you miserable. That feeling of making you miserable gives them a feeling of high. That's what I call diamond or coal level supply. There's what I call diamond level supply, which is how they look to the world, their image, or what I call coal level supply, which is feeding off of making you miserable or being passive aggressive or degrading you. I think the better question in some ways is how they manifest differently as far as covert versus grandiose, which is a covert narcissist tends to be more like more stealth and how they go about it. In they tend to be more passive aggressive. They tend to be more under the radar. They tend to be more what I call like clean hands. They tend to be more like so the I'll start with the grandiose. The grandiose is the one that fills the room. The grandiose is the one that everybody knows that they're there. They're the bragging, I want the best tables. I am so great at this. And everybody knows it. They're interrupting the conversations. They tend to be the ones that are the risk takers, the impulsive ones. They ask you how you're doing, but they don't really stop to listen to the answer to the question because they don't really care. And they're in the middle of a conversation with you at a cocktail party, but if somebody better comes along, they're off having the conversation with them because there might be somebody better that came in the room. That's the one that you think of as a narcissist, right? The covert narcissist is much more stealth about how they are a narcissist. They will like couch their smearing of other people in terms of care. So they might say, "Oh, I'm just so worried about Susie and her drinking. Just so concerned about her." But Susie probably has no problems with her drinking whatsoever, but it's just that they're smearing. And, or at work, how it might manifest is, I don't know how I left you off of that email chain. Why weren't you at that important meeting? Wow. I really thought I had you on there. And so all of a sudden you didn't show up for a meeting that you were supposed to be at, but
it's like and cast doubts,
So, just, oh, that dress looks so great on you. It really complements your full figure. They're very good at just that kind of little dig, or just that. What's the name of your new book again? I can never quite remember. Just things like that are just a little dig, but everybody thinks they're so nice, but that there's a little dig in there. So it's sort of like death by 1,000 cuts. And so you're never quite sure where you stand with them. But it's just enough that if you tell people about it, that people might go, "Oh, but that's probably inadvertent. I mean, they're so nice." It's not so much that it's so bad to tell a person because like they're not beating you, but it's bad enough that it you know that it's psychologically